welcome to another video with me, Elmo J. Karjalainen. It's good to have you along. If my name is tricky to start. Hello and welcome to another video with me, Elmo J. Karjalainen. It's good to have you along. If my name's tricky to pronounce, you can call me this guy. Today, I'm taking a look at 5 sweeping licks that you can use in a musical setting, which also make great exercises. Apart from the first one, which is very unmusical. But I'll be right back after this intro. Okay, so like I said, today it's 5 sweeping licks that you can use in a musical setting, minus the first one, and they're all great exercises as well. The first one is really not very musical, but I've been known to use it just to annoy people who hate shredding. And it's a really simple thing to do, at least when it comes to your left hand, and a couple of these actually are quite simple for your left hand, so you can really kind of hone in on your right hand sweeping technique. If you don't know what sweeping is, it's just when you, instead of you alternate pick, you just do this. So if you're doing a 4-string lick, it would be down, 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 up, 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 up. That would be 8 notes, I think. So the idea is to kind of go through the string, down, and you're already resting on the next string, down, 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 up, 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 up. And you do that fast and it becomes... So you're not picking each note, you're not doing this. But anyway, if you're watching this video, I think you know what sweeping is already. So, first lick. I'll do these fast first and I'll do them slow. Okay, so the idea is very simple. You start with your pinky, do your next finger, next finger, next finger, like this. And then you do the same thing again. So I start on the D string. You can start anywhere. I'm starting on the 8th fret of the D string, going to the 7th, going to the 6th, going to the 5th, and then going to the 8th on the E string with my pinky and kind of reversing the whole thing as a mirror image. So it's, if I'm starting on the 8th fret of the D string, it'll be this. So, imagining a musical setting for that could be a bit difficult, but you could, I suppose, insert it somewhere where there's a break, let's say something like... And then there's a break and you just do... And everyone rushes out to the store to buy your CD. So that's lick number 1. Let's do it slow again, and you can move that about, of course. Lick number 2, now this is a diminished lick. So 3 notes, let's just stay in one position. I'll do it on the 10th fret of the G string with my index finger, ring finger on the 12th, and pinky on the 13th. So that would be slowly. And of course, you can move that around as well. Now, this is a great substitute for the next lick, which is instant Yngwie Malmsteen. Yes, that's lick number 3, another diminished lick. This is one of Yngwie's easier sweeping licks. Not that anything he does is very easy, but if you start with your, well, I start with my pinky, and I think he does as well. Let's start on the 4th fret of the E string, and you pull off to the 1st fret that you're fretting with your index finger. And again, no tab, because I think that's overrated. I think you should try to pick this stuff up by ear as much as possible, because it's very good for your ears, and in general transcribing is very good for you. So that's why there's no tab. So this is it slowly. And the idea, if you're staying in the same key, is that you move the shape 3 frets up or down, and you just get the same diminished arpeggio, but a different inversion of it, so you start on a different note. Of course, you could do something like, where you just move 3 frets in one direction a few times, and then you kind of change keys, where I just moved the whole thing up 1 fret. So that's a fairly easy-ish one. That was lick number 3. Next one is something that I think I've heard Steve Vai do, but I'm not entirely sure. You can keep this in one position if you want, but you can also slide it around. I'll just do it in one position first. So basically, I don't even know what I'm doing half of the time, but basically I'm just doing index finger, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, pinky, pulling off and going back the opposite direction. So it's 7th fret, 9th, 8th, 7th, 10th, pull off to 7th, 8th, 9th, and 7th, and then you can slide that around. So let's just imagine that we're in E minor, which is a whole step up from the saddest of all keys, D minor. Don't want to get crying, so be in E minor. And you would have the Phrygian box right around, or the shape, or whatever you want to think of it as, on the 7th fret. And then you can do this within that shape. And you can choose to come back down. Or you can go up to the 12th fret, where you have the same shape, but then you're in the E minor box or shape. It's all in E minor, but still. So you have the Phrygian box at the 7th fret, you have the 12th fret, which would be E minor. And it's all just one shape. I'm changing directions a bit and all that, and you can experiment with that and go bananas. So I'm just doing 3 kind of, starting on the 7th fret, I'm starting on the 12th fret, and on the 14th fret you can do a kind of similar thing, starting on the A string if you're still in E minor. And you can just even do kind of a sweep one way and do something like. So that's lick number 4, and it's just one shape, and I like kind of easy to remember shapes because I forget. And the cool thing is you learn one shape and then you just move that about, and it seems much harder than it actually is. Which is my whole kind of guitar playing philosophy in a nutshell. The next one is very Mattias Ia Eklund. If you don't know him, check him out. He's brilliant. This is in D minor, and basically it's from something that he did called When Sam Played It Again. I'll put a link to that in the description because it's a crazy, insane song. I think he does it in E minor, I'm not sure. But in D minor you could do something like this. Now that would be the slow version. So what am I doing there? Just basically, first it was what I showed you earlier. Then I started moving it about because if you kind of take this idea that you go kind of to the next fret where you have the next notes on the next string until you run out of fingers and you go back to your index finger, you would have. Okay, that's not strictly speaking what I was saying, but still, you take one finger at a time, and then you can move that about, so you could go upwards and you would have. Messy, but still great fun. Quite difficult stuff. So that's lick number 5. It's a great exercise, and you can use it. You can even make it into something that sounds quite nice and like not shreddy at all by just doing. So those are the 5 licks I have for you today. Like I said, no tab, because I think you should be picking this stuff up by ear, because I'm showing it too slow. If it's still too fast, I'm sorry. I've been influenced by Yngwie Malmsteen's REH video where he said something along the lines of, here's my favorite lick. And then he goes, here is fat. And little old 15-year-old teenage me sitting around going, what's he doing? It's so, I can't make heads or tails of it. So at least I was trying to show stuff to you slower. And you can rewind and take it again. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Or better yet, why don't you bugger off? But I think you have already, and you've given it a thumbs down, and you've let me know in the comments. And I'll be right back with a response. Like I said, give it a thumbs up, comment, let me know what you thought, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification thing so you get updates when I upload new videos. And subscribe if I haven't already said that. I did say that. Support me on Patreon, because you get a bunch of exclusive stuff like music that hasn't been released anywhere. That's just one of many things. And if you want free music, you can check out my website. The link's in the description. There's a compilation album that's free over there. 6 or 7 songs, I think. Yeah, that's all I have for you today. I hope you liked it. See you in another one. Bye-bye!
Yeah.